The following program contains dangerous stunts that should not be reenacted. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now on Whacked Out Videos, the eyes have it. They call it the I Did a Dud, as these freaks get the big freeze. And meet one hip-hoppin' mama. A fire-eating freak goes a bridge too far. Life's a snap. Plus, 3 bikers, 2 wheels, and no brain. Then, learn the lessons of life in the countdown. Here's mud in your eye. Whacked Out Videos is lifting off right now. To Jordan, where accountant and obvious fitness nut Jarati Wazir is having a little eye trouble. He's having trouble keeping them in his head. The condition has his doctor flummoxed. I've tried everything to stop the popping. Eye patches, low spinach diet, nothing works. I am a failure. The truth is, he's just messing with his doctor. He doesn't even want to be cured. He loves being able to hypnotize strangers, amuse his nephew, and scare birds. So what's the secret of Jarati's unique talent? I owe it all to the fact that I'm very easily surprised. Go ahead. Tell me something that's only mildly interesting. I've been thinking about building a deck in my backyard. Of course, it's supposed to rain this weekend. Sadly, Jarati won't be amazed by magazine recipe ideas anymore. His doctor found out he'd been getting played and strangled the life out of him. Just kidding. There's a crime wave sweeping rural America. Bands of renegade deer are on a B&P spree. B&P, that's breaking and prancing. Dang, he really puts the bam in Bambi. Let's hear from the victim.
Laying on the couch watching TV, kind of half asleep, and then all of a sudden, crash, you know, here comes a deer.
Whoa, wait a minute. Let's get this straight. You were home half asleep on the couch watching TV in the middle of the afternoon? A young go-getter like you? Huh, go figure. The place was ransacked, causing over 75 cents in damage. The offending fawn is still at large and adorable. Here's an idea that looked good on paper. All women love ice skating and all men love motorcycles. Bring the two together and you have the perfect date night sport. Talk about ice follies. As if motorcycles weren't dangerous enough, let's get him out on a super hard, slippery surface. That didn't look so bad from here, right? Maybe he bruised his shin or bent up his handlebars a little, right? Wrong. I ripped my finger off! The good news is it looked much worse than it was. The doctors patched him back up and he was back working the throttle the next day. Time for another behind-the-scenes peek at the lifestyles of the not-so-rich or famous.
It's Whacked Out Videos, celebrities you've never heard of.
Now let's meet a little old lady who puts the artificial hip into hip-hop. 62-year-old Kathy Anderson of Manchester, England, took her granddaughters to a Black Eyed Peas concert last summer, and she was so blown away by the backup dancers, she knew what she wanted to do with the rest of her life. All 6 or 7 months of it. Hey, Granny, shouldn't you be drinking tea or making quilts or something like that?
It's not my style, drinking tea or going to the library. I like the hip-hop.
Hey, I just realized we're 30 seconds into a British story, and I still haven't made one bad teeth joke. Isn't that great, daughter of the hip-hop Granny? You probably thought this couldn't get more uncomfortable, but hang on. Here's my favorite part of it. Check out the awkward freeze our Euro correspondent does after her little sign-off.
Kathy is one cool mover.
Hold it. Hold it. And we're out. And now a few quick words from our sponsors. These fabulous BMX wipeouts are brought to you by Uncle Scabby's Adhesive Blank Rectangles. A bandage that looks like a tiny picture frame. Why cover up your scrapes and bruises when you can display them like art? And also by Fillmore brand faulty ramps and railings. The ramps and railings where wipeouts are born. That's Fillmore faulty ramps and railings. Fall more with Fillmore. And lastly, almost nothing on our show would be possible without a generous grant from the Poor Judgment Group. That's Poor Judgment, your top source for boneheaded entertainment since Adam bit the apple. Cambridge, England. Home of the historic University of Cambridge. A school so prestigious, it makes Harvard look like the Palookaville Barber College for the criminally insane. It is here that for hundreds of years, the world's top minds have gathered for a single purpose. Tiddlywinks. You heard me. Tiddlywinks. The game for people who find backgammon a little too racy. Any time of the day or night, if they're not studying, you can find these dateless wonders in the student union catching a few winks. Let's hear from the president of the Tiddlywink Society, Sir Arthur Borrington.
And the club developed at that point. They changed the game from the children's version where you were just trying to flick little counters called winks into a pot.
Boy, I'd hate to run into that bad hombre in a dark alley. Great, now the whole crew is asleep.
Then the game.
I think I know a way we can get this to catch on at other college campuses around the world. Fill that cup in the middle up with beer and replace the little plastic discs with quarters. Just a thought. When we whack back, phone glued to your ear, check out the new Blue Doof technology. Oop, there it is as these high-heeled hard bodies hit the hard court. Then, a bridge, a bonehead, and a dream. That's next. This is Whacked Out Videos. If you've been run over by a dump truck full of dullness, we're here to bring your smile back to life. With boatloads of the most bizarre and mind-boggling events ever captured on film. We're your best defense against a world gone serious. We're Whacked Out Videos. We're back on Whacked Out Videos. In Virgin, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City, there's a totally sweet indoor wave pool that just opened that makes it possible to actually shoot the curl, even though you're 1,000 miles from the nearest ocean. It's so cool, in fact, that this jackball couldn't resist calling to tell his friend about it while he's actually on his boogie board. What's the matter, son? Got tired of sending text messages while you were rock climbing in the Grand Tetons? Oh, these kids today and their compulsive need to be in constant communication with each other. Two things you desperately need to hear, young man. First of all, nice panties. Secondly, it's time to hang up and hang 10. You can call your little pal later. I used to not mind cell phones so much, but things are getting way out of hand with kids. They're wasting their youths, and that time is even more precious than rollover roaming minutes. Anyone can play basketball in big, comfy sneakers, but what about 6-inch stiletto heels? Let's watch and learn as Carrie and Ashlyn take one-on-one to the next level. Ladies, anytime you're ready. The average NBA player is 6'4", but if he tried to play in these pumps, he'd be about 4'6", since he'd snap both his legs off at the shin within the first 3 minutes. They are not easy to walk on. It requires a lot of concentration, Still, like in any good pickup game, there's plenty of trash talk.
I suck at this game.
Carrie, dear, traditionally you're supposed to trash talk about the other player. These two towering gladiators were deadlocked at 11 when suddenly tragedy struck and the game was cut short. What can you do? It's an act of God. We'll call it a tie. Whacked Out Videos takes you now to the intersection of boneheadedness, where people much dumber than you perform ridiculous acts of idiocy. If you thought what happens on the football field is dangerous, you should see what goes on outside the stadium. This poor young Jacksonville fan got his head caught in a Jaguar statue's mouth. It was there for over 45 minutes before paramedics managed to do some emergency hacksaw dentistry. Free at last, or Siegfried at last, as it were. What were you thinking, Junior?
My mom wanted to take some pictures, and my sister was talking about, like, what we should do about the thing.
Attaboy, blame your sister. So what have you learned?
You said I should put my head.
Here's living proof that anybody with a video camera and half a brain can get on TV.
It's Whacked Out Videos Amateur Hour.
We take you now to the old swimming hole in Atkinson, Georgia, where Clyde Bailey will dare to do a backflip off the bridge and into said pond. From this angle, it's hard to tell how high the bridge is exactly. Could be 10 feet, could be 100 feet. I guess there's only one way to find out. Go for it, Clyde. Looks like it was closer to 10 feet. It was a nice backflip and all, but nothing spectacular. Can we try it again, but this time jazz it up a little? Heck yeah! Pyrotechnics! This ought to turn this lazy summer afternoon into a Kiss concert. Sweet! That made no sense, but I loved it. Really, how can it get any better? Hold on. For an encore, Lamo Von Flamo is going to barf in the pond. Coming up, new uses for people with wide loads. Slip sliding away. Plus, we've got a TV show where torture is the name of the game. Then, check your temperature in the countdown. That's next. Welcome back to Whacked Out Videos. All right, culture lovers, time once again for Whacked Out Videos Brain Dead Theater. Hey, you and your buds run out of stupid stuff to do? Well, check out these Evanston, Illinois insaniacs. They've packed their sweatsuits with blow-in attic insulation for a little obese release. Why, you ask? Seems their high school principal caught him making fun of wide-load Larry between classes. And as punishment, they have to walk a mile in wide-load Larry's lard. Not so funny when the fat's on the other foot, is it, guys? Little awkward? Uncomfortable? Sweating in places you can't reach with deodorant? Well, now you know why Carney Wilson had her stomach stapled. So I hope you guys are learning something from this. That you shouldn't make fun of people just because they can't control their Skittles intake. I hope next time you see wide-load Larry in the lunchroom, you'll show a little respect and compassion. And if you really want to help him, steal his lunch money. And now on Whacked Out Videos Culture Corner, a poem entitled, Oh Skateboard. Oh Skateboard, when we fly, I feel like a stud. Until I hit the ground with a sickening thud. But then I jump back on you like a frisky little lemur and fall right back off and nearly bust my femur. Without you, oh skateboard, my life would be dull. And I'd have to find a new way to damage my skull. Thank you for making me feel like the coolest kid on the block. Even though we both know I ain't exactly Tony Hawk. Who says this show isn't classy? I didn't think I liked tug-of-war, but hey, what do you know? It's amazing what a difference a kiddie pool full of chocolatey, milky mud can make. This is awesome. I wonder where everybody is. Excuse me, miss. How did this thing get started?
I decided I wrestle Michelle when I get drunk, and I'm like, dude, we gotta wrestle some mud.
That's Stacy, the potty-mouth impresario of the event. I could listen to her talk all day. Keep your finger on the button, boys.
I decided one night I was wrestling my chick, dude. She was wasted. I'm like, dude, we gotta wrestle mud, right? I'm like, hey, it's mud wrestling girls contest, right? So I threw it last year. I'm throwing this year. Way more people did not come this year, but next year, it's gonna poppin'.
Even though, quote-unquote, way more people didn't come this year, the handful that did were treated to a sloppy good time. Eventually, everyone got in on the action. If you ask me, it was a huge success. Here's mud in your eyes, Stacy. All right, all you fans of the scabtastic and spaztacular, it's time for the countdown. Today, the top 6 new TV shows. Number 6, Crazy Eyes for the Straight Guy. Number 5, 2.5 Brain Cells. Number 4, So You Think You Can Dance? Not. Number 3, Project Schmuckway. Number 2, It's Always Sunny in Herzegovina. And the number 1 new TV show, Boston Barely Legal. Well, there you have it. 6 new shows for your viewing and spewing pleasure. Stick around, because we've got a TV show where torture is the name of the game. Whacked Out Videos will be right back. This is Whacked Out Videos. Constantly crisscrossing the globe to collect the choicest nuggets of nutty clips. Ceaselessly searching, pausing only occasionally for a light snack, or maybe to check our email, and perhaps a quick nap here and there. Otherwise, it's search, search, search. That's us. Whacked Out Videos. Welcome back to Whacked Out Videos. All right, you video voyeurs, since you deserve the best, or at least the best we can afford, time to pick the lock and pick a winner.
From the Whacked Out Videos archive.
Sweet. It's time for Please to Beg Mercy, the Japanese game show that makes Abu Ghraib look like the Ice Follies. The contestants must dangle from dried logs over a tank full of vipers, flanked by prickly cacti in the back of this rickety wagon. Gee, I had no idea they had deserts in Japan. Must be Southwest Japan. Tokyo's so crowded, people have to sleep in triple bunk beds. But it looks like there's plenty of room out here. Eventually, everyone will wind up with thighs full of splinters, palms full of thorns, or butts full of fangs. And everyone who finishes is a winner. Those who quit are mocked openly. That's the most fascinating thing about Japanese reality shows. There are no big cash prizes. It's all about honor and not shaming one's family. Because when a family's name gets dragged through the mud, no amount of money can remove those stains. Well, there you have it. Time to let Grandma out of the attic. Gotta fade out. Later.
Produced and distributed by Mighty Oak Entertainment.